Most people believe winning the lottery is random, a stroke of luck reserved for a chosen few. But what if luck is not random at all? What if it is trained, commanded, and aligned through invisible laws that never fail? Millionaires who appear lucky are not waiting on chance. They think differently. They speak differently. They move with certainty, not hope. Divine law does not respond to desperation. It responds to authority. When you learn how to command rather than wish, you step out of probability and into alignment. This is not about chasing money. This is about becoming the kind of mind that money, opportunity, and unexpected fortune are drawn to without resistance to most people. Think of winning as a matter of chance, as if life deals its rewards randomly, leaving the rest of us hoping for a miracle. But those who understand the subtle mechanics of abundance know that luck is not random. It is an energy, a force, a response to the way we think, speak, and act. When you look at the lives of those who seem to effortlessly attract wealth and fortune, it becomes clear that their approach is fundamentally different. They do not live in uncertainty. They do not oscillate between desire and doubt. They live in expectation, and expectation is not a casual thought. Expectation is a command sent out into the universe, a vibration that signals confidence and certainty. It is not about clinging to hope or begging for results, but about cultivating an inner state that aligns with the outcomes you wish to manifest. When you expect something with unwavering clarity, every part of your mind, body, and soul begins to act in ways that naturally attract that result. The subconscious mind is particularly receptive to expectation because it does not argue with logic or reason. It responds only to the clarity and authority of the signals it receives. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all pointing in one clear direction, you create an environment where the universe is compelled to respond, not because it is obligated, but because energy always moves toward coherence. The expectation of abundance shapes perception. It transforms opportunities that would otherwise go unnoticed into clear choices that move you closer to your goal. It filters the noise of doubt and discouragement, leaving only what is relevant to the fulfillment of your vision. Those who fail to develop this quality often spend their lives reacting to circumstances instead of shaping them. They wait for external proof, for confirmation, for signs that they are worthy or capable, and in doing so, they place their power outside themselves. By contrast, those who expect with certainty are not swayed by temporary setbacks or disappointments. They understand that the external world reflects the internal state, and that by maintaining unwavering belief, they create an invisible path that guides fortune directly to them. The alignment that comes from expectation is not a superficial trick. It is a deep restructuring of perception, emotion, and action. Every choice, every reaction, and every focus of attention is filtered through the lens of certainty. This is why so-called lucky individuals often describe moments of fortune as effortless or inevitable. It is not luck at all, but the result of a mind that has mastered the art of expectation. Expectation, when cultivated consciously, becomes a form of internal authority that communicates directly to the subconscious, which in turn aligns your behaviors, decisions, and even the people and circumstances around you to bring your desires into reality. The second principle that defines those who attract abundance effortlessly is the discipline of the inner conversation. Human beings often underestimate the immense power of the mind, not only in conscious decision, but in the quiet, persistent stream of thoughts that pass unnoticed each day. Every thought, no matter how fleeting, is a message sent to the subconscious mind, a command that shapes your beliefs and ultimately your experiences. The majority of people allow this stream of thoughts to be unfiltered, chaotic, and often negative, reinforcing doubts, fears, and limitations. They tell themselves stories of scarcity, stories of unworthiness, or stories that blame circumstances and other people for their lack of results. This internal dialogue, repeated over time, hardens into belief, and belief becomes a law in itself. It manifests externally because the subconscious mind does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It merely acts upon the dominant patterns it perceives. Those who cultivate wealth and what appears to be extraordinary luck understand that their internal conversation is their most powerful tool. They monitor it, guide it, and transform it deliberately. Negative thoughts are not ignored. They are corrected and replaced with affirmations of ability, worthiness, and alignment with abundance. This discipline requires both awareness and practice. It is not enough to simply wish for good things. You must consciously feed your mind with constructive, empowering, and reality-aligning ideas. Words and thoughts carry vibration. They resonate in your energy field, attracting corresponding experiences and opportunities. By shaping the inner narrative with care and precision, you create a fertile internal environment in which fortune and opportunity are naturally drawn. The process of disciplining inner conversation also strengthens focus. A mind that constantly entertains doubt, worry, or jealousy scatters energy and attention, making it difficult to notice opportunities or take decisive action. Conversely, a disciplined mind directs energy toward outcomes, solutions, and possibilities. It recognizes patterns and connections that others miss because it operates from clarity rather than confusion. Over time, this practice builds an unshakable inner authority. You begin to act with confidence, speak with conviction, and make choices that are in harmony with your desired results. The subconscious mind, once trained to accept only constructive and empowering dialogue, orchestrates circumstances, opportunities, and even encounters that reflect this internal clarity. Fortune appears not because of external randomness, but because your entire being has aligned with a pattern that naturally attracts the experiences you have programmed yourself to receive. By mastering the inner conversation, you essentially create a self-fulfilling law of abundance. The energy you radiate from consistent, disciplined thought shapes your external world with a precision that seems almost magical. This is why those who understand and practice this principle often appear to operate with uncanny luck. It is not chance, it is the natural result of conscious, disciplined alignment between thought, belief, and expectation. The power of the inner conversation lies in its subtlety. No one else sees it, yet it determines the trajectory of your life with far greater impact than any external action taken in isolation. By committing to this discipline, you begin to speak and think in ways that invite opportunity, attract resources, and open doors that were previously invisible, ensuring that abundance is not merely a hope, but a predictable, natural outcome of the way you engage with yourself and the world around you. Those who command extraordinary fortune understand the paradoxical power of detachment. At first glance, it may seem contradictory to desire something intensely while remaining emotionally detached from its outcome. Yet, this is precisely what separates those who appear lucky from those who constantly struggle with uncertainty and fear. Detachment does not mean lack of desire or apathy. It is a refined form of trust, a deep-seated confidence that the universe responds to clarity, alignment, and authority. When an individual clings to outcomes, every moment becomes charged with tension, anxiety, and fear of failure. This emotional resistance creates a barrier that interferes with the natural flow of opportunity and fortune. Desperation sends a signal of lack, and the universe, operating under divine law, mirrors this state back in the form of delay, difficulty, or disappointment. By contrast, detachment allows a person to hold their vision with clarity and passion while maintaining calm and inner peace. This state of relaxed expectation creates a space where unseen forces can work freely, orchestrating events in ways that often surpass imagination. The difference lies in the energy one projects. When the mind and heart are aligned with the outcome yet free from emotional turbulence, the individual is not acting from need but from authority. This subtle shift transforms the entire dynamic of manifestation. Patience is no longer an endurance test but a deliberate state of readiness. Actions are performed with precision and purpose, yet without the frantic grasping that repels abundance. Every step taken is informed by a calm, confident trust that what is meant to arrive will do so at the right time and in the right way. This principle emphasizes the importance of balance. The clarity of vision fuels action, while detachment protects the individual from the counterproductive effects of anxiety, doubt, and desperation. Those who master this balance report an ease and flow in their lives that appears magical to observers. They do not chase luck. They create conditions under which luck must follow. They remain loyal to the vision, disciplined in their practices, and yet free from the burden of emotional dependence on outcomes. This combination of clarity, confidence, and detachment transforms not only the experience of waiting but the quality of actions themselves, making every choice more precise, every decision more impactful, and every opportunity more visible. Another characteristic that defines those who command fortune effortlessly is the practice of embodying alignment before any external results appear. This principle is often misunderstood because it requires a shift from a mindset of reaction to one of proactive embodiment. Acting as if abundance is already complete does not mean pretending or faking reality. It means adopting the posture, mindset, and behaviors of someone who naturally inhabits the state you wish to achieve. It is an integration of identity, thought, and action that signals to the universe and to the subconscious mind that your desired outcomes are not distant possibilities, but natural extensions of who you are being. This practice begins with self-perception. The individual must first see themselves, not as someone waiting for fortune to arrive, but as someone who already commands it. Every decision, every gesture, and every interaction is filtered through this lens. They make choices consistent with this identity, which in turn shapes habits, behaviors, and responses in a way that aligns with abundance. For example, someone embodying wealth and success will naturally gravitate toward opportunities, people, and circumstances that reinforce that identity. Their confidence, poise, and decisiveness become magnets for opportunity. The principle of embodiment also directly influences the subconscious mind, which operates on the cues provided by daily actions and repeated behaviors. By consistently acting in alignment with a desired state, the subconscious mind internalizes it as reality. Over time, what once required deliberate effort becomes automatic, and the external world adjusts accordingly. This is why those who practice embodiment often appear to live in effortless fortune. Their internal state has preemptively shaped the external outcomes. Moreover, embodiment affects energy resonance. Life responds to the quality and clarity of energy projected. When someone moves, speaks, and acts as though abundance is already present, they emit a frequency that aligns with prosperity, drawing similar energy into their life. The key is consistency and authenticity. The actions must be sincere reflections of the desired state, not superficial mimicry. The universe responds to authenticity, not pretense, and the subconscious mind cannot be deceived by inconsistent signals. Through this practice, individuals align their entire being with the outcome they desire, creating a seamless bridge between intention and manifestation. By living as though they are already fortunate, they remove internal resistance, accelerate the flow of opportunities, and activate a natural momentum that carries them toward their goals. The path becomes clear, the actions precise, and the results inevitable. This principle demonstrates that the external world is not the primary driver of success. It is the internal state, embodied and projected consistently, that commands reality to conform to the vision held with clarity, authority, and unwavering alignment. Those who command extraordinary fortune understand that money is not merely a tool for survival or a marker of status. It is energy in motion, a reflection of the clarity and alignment of the mind. Treating money as sacred, forbidden, or unattainable creates blocks, whereas seeing it as responsive energy allows it to flow naturally toward those who have cultivated the right mindset. Lucky individuals recognize that money is not the ultimate goal. It is a medium through which opportunities, freedom, and creativity manifest. When money is respected and understood as energy, it stops being a source of fear, obsession, and becomes a dynamic force that responds to intention, focus, and action. They do not worship it, they do not chase it desperately, and they do not fear its absence. Instead, they cultivate a deep appreciation for its utility and potential. By doing so, they create a mental and emotional environment that welcomes abundance. This approach transforms the way they perceive opportunities. Instead of being driven by scarcity or the urgency of need, they are guided by discernment, clarity, and alignment with their purpose. When you treat money as energy, every transaction, every investment, and every financial decision becomes an intentional act that signals to the universe the kind of flow you wish to attract. This conscious approach removes the chaotic fluctuations of hope and fear that plague most individuals and replaces them with deliberate, confident engagement with resources. Understanding money in this way also changes relationships with people and circumstances. Those who operate with this mindset are more generous, collaborative, and open to exchange because they know that energy multiplies when it is allowed to circulate freely. They are not hoarding or clinging but acting as conduits for the flow of wealth, which in turn attracts more abundance, creating a feedback loop that continuously amplifies their fortunes. The energy perspective also shifts the internal experience of money. No longer is wealth a source of anxiety or stress. It becomes a reflection of clarity, purpose, and alignment. When money is no longer imbued with emotional tension, opportunities that were previously blocked or overlooked appear naturally, and resources arrive in ways that feel effortless and organic. This understanding fosters a mindset of empowerment. Individuals who embrace this principle recognize that their internal state, their beliefs, and their actions dictate the flow of money more than external circumstances ever could. By mastering their relationship with money as energy, they ensure that abundance is not sporadic or dependent on luck, but consistent, predictable, and aligned with their vision for life. Patience is the silent force that underpins every great success, yet it is often misunderstood as passive waiting. Those who command fortune know that patience is not idleness, it is the deliberate cultivation of calm belief, while the unseen forces of alignment move in the background. Impatience is a signal of doubt and resistance. It fractures focus, triggers anxiety, and sends conflicting messages to the subconscious mind and the energy of the universe. Those who achieve extraordinary results understand that the visible world is only a reflection of deeper, unseen processes. Fortune, opportunity, and alignment do not always manifest instantly, but they move in precise accordance with timing that often exceeds human comprehension. To practice true patience, an individual must develop unwavering trust in the process, knowing that what is intended will inevitably come to fruition. This trust is not naive or passive, it is active confidence. While waiting, one continues to act in alignment with vision, to make decisions consistent with desired outcomes, and to maintain clarity of thought and integrity of intention. Every action, no matter how small, is a step toward the inevitable manifestation of goals. Impatience, by contrast, leads to hasty decisions, erratic energy, and choices that often divert from the path of alignment. The patient individual understands that visible results are preceded by invisible preparation. Opportunities, resources, and favorable circumstances are gathered, orchestrated, and synchronized in ways that may not be immediately apparent. By maintaining composure and steady focus, one positions oneself to recognize and seize these openings at precisely the right moment. Patience also strengthens resilience. When challenges, delays, or apparent setbacks arise, they are interpreted not as failures, but as necessary adjustments in the larger orchestration of events. This perspective allows individuals to maintain a high vibration, remain centered, and act decisively when opportunities align, rather than being derailed by fear or frustration. Furthermore, practicing patience enhances clarity and discernment. It allows the mind to observe patterns, anticipate outcomes, and make informed decisions that maximize alignment and efficiency. Those who achieve consistent fortune are rarely rushed or reactive. They operate from a place of calm authority, knowing that timing is as important as action, and that alignment precedes manifestation. By integrating patience with unwavering belief, clear expectation, and disciplined action, individuals create a powerful internal state that attracts and organizes external resources in perfect synchronization. Patience becomes a strategic tool, a mechanism through which the force of opportunity, energy, and divine timing converge to produce results that appear effortless to the observer but are the inevitable outcome of deliberate alignment and persistent, focused intent. Those who consistently attract fortune understand that resentment and envy are invisible chains that block the flow of abundance. When someone observes another's success and reacts with jealousy or bitterness, they generate a vibration of scarcity and limitation that directly conflicts with the energy of wealth. The universe responds not to what is desired, but to the quality of the inner state. Resentment creates resistance. It binds attention to lack rather than to possibility. By contrast, admiration, celebration, and genuine happiness for others. Success opens channels and clears space for similar blessings to enter. This principle is subtle yet profoundly powerful. It requires conscious effort to transform automatic reactions into deliberate, constructive responses. The individual must recognize when envy arises and immediately shift perspective toward appreciation and acknowledgement of the abundance that exists. Every successful person is a reflection of what is possible, a living example that fortune is not a limited commodity, but a field of infinite potential. When admiration replaces envy, one aligns with this field, signaling readiness to receive. This is why the truly fortunate often display an effortless generosity of spirit. Their energy is expansive, not contracted. They can celebrate another's win without fear of loss, because they understand that the universe's resources are not finite. Opportunity, wealth, and luck are drawn to those whose hearts are unencumbered by bitterness, who can hold a mindset of abundance even when others succeed. The act of releasing resentment is not passive forgiveness. It is an active recalibration of internal energy, a conscious command to the mind and universe that one is aligned with the flow of prosperity. By clearing the mental and emotional clutter created by envy, individuals create a receptive state in which fortune can operate unimpeded. This practice also strengthens emotional intelligence and resilience. It cultivates the ability to remain centered, composed, and focused on personal vision while others achieve their goals. The mind becomes attuned to patterns of opportunity rather than distracted by comparison, enabling decisive action and informed choices that further amplify alignment with desired outcomes. By embracing admiration and releasing resentment, a person not only clears blocks to wealth, but also generates a magnetic field of positivity that draws opportunities, resources, and fortunate circumstances naturally into their life, creating a rhythm of success that appears effortless yet is the product of deliberate, conscious alignment. Another defining habit of those who command extraordinary fortune is the ability to follow intuitive nudges without overanalyzing or hesitation. Life communicates in whispers rather than shouts, and the signals that guide individuals toward opportunity often arrive as subtle impulses, fleeting thoughts, or sudden inclinations that defy logical explanation. Those who are skilled in attracting luck understand that hesitation or doubt in response to these nudges is the enemy of alignment. Every moment of indecision can divert energy, delay manifestation, or close doors to possibilities that were perfectly timed. The disciplined attunement to intuition begins with awareness. One must learn to quiet the constant noise of the mind to separate habitual thought patterns from the subtle guidance that arises from deep alignment with purpose and vision. This requires both practice and trust, for the voice of intuition is often drowned out by doubt, fear, or overthinking. When a nudge is recognized, action must be taken with confidence and immediacy. Those who attract fortune act decisively, understanding that hesitation allows resistance to build and opportunities to dissipate. The alignment between inner guidance and external action creates a flow in which circumstances, resources, and people naturally respond in ways that appear synchronized and almost miraculous. Following intuition is not random behavior or reckless risk-taking, it is a discipline, responsiveness to signals that arise from alignment with one's highest vision. By trusting these impulses, individuals often encounter openings, solutions, or encounters that would not have been accessible through purely rational analysis. This principle reinforces the interconnectedness of inner alignment and outer manifestation. The more attuned one becomes to intuitive guidance, the more the universe appears to conspire in favor of their goals. Patterns emerge that seem orchestrated yet are the natural consequence of alignment and receptivity. Over time, following intuition without overanalyzing strengthens confidence, sharpens discernment, and deepens trust in the unseen forces that govern opportunity. The mind becomes less reactive to fear, the body more responsive to possibility, and the individual as a whole moves in harmony with the currents of fortune. By cultivating sensitivity to these subtle signals and acting promptly upon them, one creates a continuous loop of opportunity, clarity, and results, demonstrating that luck is not a matter of chance but a consequence of deliberate attentiveness, responsiveness, and alignment with the intelligence of life itself. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices for those who command extraordinary fortune. Yet its power is often underestimated because most people reserve gratitude for what has already been received, reacting to circumstances rather than creating them. Those who consistently attract abundance understand that gratitude is most potent when expressed before visible evidence appears. It is not a passive hope or a hollow ritual. It is a deliberate, high-frequency signal sent to the universe that the channel is open, receptive, and aligned. When gratitude is cultivated in advance, it shifts the internal state from desire tinged with lack to expectation tinged with certainty. This subtle shift changes the energy that one emits, and energy is the medium through which fortune and opportunity respond. Practicing gratitude in advance is a conscious declaration that abundance is inevitable, that resources, opportunities, and favorable circumstances are already aligning, and that the individual recognizes their rightful place within this flow. It trains the mind to see possibilities rather than limitations, to perceive patterns and opportunities that would otherwise be obscured by focus on absence or scarcity. When gratitude becomes a habitual orientation of the heart and mind, creates a positive feedback loop, the clearer and more appreciated the inner state, the more external evidence appears to justify that gratitude, which in turn reinforces the internal alignment. This principle demonstrates that fortune is less about acquiring and more about cultivating the energy that attracts acquisition. Every moment of sincere appreciation, even for things not yet visible, acts as an energetic magnet, drawing resources and opportunities that correspond to the frequency of gratitude. By consistently practicing this, individuals move beyond passive wishing and into active co-creation, accelerating the arrival of desired outcomes and deepening the alignment between inner expectation and external manifestation. Gratitude in advance transforms waiting periods into active preparation and positions the individual as a powerful receiver, one whose awareness and openness invite fortune naturally and effortlessly into their life. Commanding rather than hoping is the defining hallmark of those who consistently attract extraordinary fortune. Hope is passive. It depends on chance, circumstances, and external validation. It is a state of conditional expectation, often tinged with doubt and fear, and it leaves the individual vulnerable to disappointment when results are delayed or outcomes do not match desire. Command, by contrast, is active alignment. It is the practice of setting intention with authority, combining expectation, belief, identity, and action into a single coherent directive. Those who command understand that the universe responds to clarity and coherence. When every part of the being is aligned, thoughts, emotions, actions, and identity, the forces of life cannot resist the directive. Command is not arrogance or coercion. It is the confident exercise of inner authority, the knowledge that alignment will inevitably produce the intended results. To command effectively, one must integrate several dimensions of practice. First, the mind must maintain unwavering focus on the desired outcome. Second, the emotions must reflect certainty and calm, free from fear, doubt, or desperation. Third, identity must be aligned with the reality being commanded, acting and thinking as someone who already inhabits the state of desired abundance. Fourth, actions must be consistent with this inner state, creating a bridge between internal authority and external manifestation. When these elements converge, the energy sent into the world is coherent and compelling, and external circumstances respond in kind. Command transforms the relationship between the individual and fortune. Rather than being at the mercy of chance or waiting for favorable conditions, the person becomes a conscious orchestrator of outcomes. Opportunities appear with precise timing. Resources move in response to alignment. People and circumstances are drawn toward the directive set with clarity and authority. This practice requires discipline, self-awareness, and persistent cultivation of the inner state, but the results are profound. Fortune becomes predictable, luck becomes familiar, and success ceases to be an exception, instead emerging as a natural consequence of coherent alignment. Those who master command move through life with certainty, taking deliberate steps, while trusting in the invisible forces that act in response to authority. The distinction between hoping and commanding is the difference between passivity and active participation in the orchestration of one's life. While hope leaves the individual subject to chance and external influence, command transforms intention into reality by creating an internal resonance so strong that it cannot fail to manifest in the outer world. The practice of command, when integrated with expectation, disciplined inner conversation, detachment, embodiment, understanding of money, patience, admiration, intuitive responsiveness, and gratitude, forms a complete system of alignment that positions the individual as an effective co-creator with the forces that govern opportunity, energy, and abundance. It is through command that what once seemed improbable becomes inevitable, and what appeared as luck becomes the natural consequence of deliberate and coherent engagement with the laws that shape reality.